All right, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. We've got Typical Mistakes versus Denial Esports. It's game number 5 for the American Dota League. This is the playoffs, the first round. Winner will go on to face, I believe, Evil Geniuses in the next round here on the ADL. Thank you for joining us. My name is Mott. With me tonight is my co-caster, NY John. How are you, sir?
I am doing great because, Mott, I love me some Game 5s. And we said it before the series started, best of 5 series, there's no room for error. You really get to see the best of both teams, and I think that's what has happened today. TM up 2-0 early, Denial with a 2-0 response, and it all comes down to a final game.
Yep, and it should be a good one. Honestly, this has been sort of a really weird series in the way that it's played out. I mean, there was throws, there was stomps. I mean, you had it all here. We've had a couple of close games as well on top of that, but really it's going to come down to this game. And we all know what really Typical Mistakes should do here. It really, you know what you need to do, Typical Mistakes.
You know what you need to do.
This is the moment of truth. Everyone just, no, that was the wrong thing to do, maybe. I don't
know. They left a couple of picks open.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to first pick the gyro as one would assume.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
But nonetheless, I think they should first pick the gyro.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to give Ewo that chance to carry you again. I think you have to. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, if you don't pick the gyro here, I guess you better pick some really, really good support or something that really, really, like a Nature's Prophet maybe even, and I don't even know if that's worth it.
Prophet made it throughout the whole last draft without getting picked, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, the gyro is probably one of the best options here. I'm trying to rack my brain to see who I'd really put above him. I mean, listen, Ewo has won on the gyro both games he's played it. Give him the hero, and whatever happens with Typical Mistakes picks, it happens. This is your best chance to win. I legitimately believe that. So I think that's what they have to do, and they do it.
Yeah.
All right, so Mistakes, not taking the gyro off the board again. I don't know. I think they can. I believe they can beat a gyro. I believe they can beat Ewo's gyro, but they need a lot of things to go differently than they have in the last 2 games.
I think honestly that Ewo played a great gyrocopter. Don't get me wrong. In the last game, more than anything, I think it was kind of Typical Mistakes that beat themselves rather than Ewo beating them on that gyrocopter, especially with the lineup that Denial had. I think the draft didn't go their way. I think Goody's transition to the 4 or 5 role, whatever he's playing, is not going as smoothly as maybe he intended. But with that being said, you've got a nice pickup in the Visage for Typical Mistakes, a hero that can deal massive amounts of damage and win you a tri-lane, essentially. So I like that pickup from TM. They have another pickup here, and so Lifestealer as well. So Typical Mistakes, they've got a smart draft going for them so far. And let's see if they can keep that going, because I think they kind of lost it in the later stages of the draft last game, at least in my opinion. Oh, and the Naga Siren, which is going to be played by Smash mid, probably more than likely, I'd say.
Yeah, these are 2 heroes that are phenomenal with each other, of course. Being able to song into a cooldown early on in the game is such a deadly combination. We've seen Denial use these exact 2 together before, and the amount of AoE teamfight synergy you can find for Naga Siren is so plentiful that there's no concern that it's all going to get banned out in 2 bans. You're going to get something else that's going to work off the back end of the song after these ban stage it passes as well. So they have to be feeling really comfortable. I mean, a hero like Jakiro comes to mind. That would be a worthwhile ban for Typical Mistakes. They take out the Lone Druid first, which I guess is a pretty good option because Lone Druid being a solid laner. But I think you really have to aim for some of these supports that can just make the Naga that much better. And if you're TM, you have to go for a solo middle that can try and bully the Naga hard, which there's few and far between, really. There's one that comes to mind. First name O, last name D. Maybe they have to pick up the OD here.
Oh, wow. I mean, you were pretty, subtle about it up until the end there, up until you combine those 2 letters.
I was going to say Obsidian Destroyer, and then I was like, oh, no.
Wait,
oh, no, that's not
Blizzard,
his name anymore.
No, Blizzard, this is, no, we can't. That's all right, no. You avoided it. You avoided. That's fine. Puck now banned coming out, as well as the Spirit Bomb, if you will, with the Storm Spirit. So typical mistakes with the first pickup here. They've got the Outworld Devourer if they want it. Do they want it is the question. So
Do they want the Outworld Devourer, the Outworld Demolisher, the Outworld Destructor? I don't know. Which version?
I'm gonna go with Devourer. I'm just gonna say. I mean,
I think that's the weaker one.
Listen,
honestly.
I liked Destroyer. Okay, I thought it was fine, but things happen. People get mad. So
Well, I think it honestly would be their best pick because it gives them a solid lane middle. It forces some attention there, and then they could try and punish the tri-lane or at least have a good off-lane performance. I mean, there's no response to the OD for Denial right now because they already have the Naga and the Gyro. They're committed to those two heroes, right? And they have to lane one in a tri-lane or at least one of the solos and one in the other. So they've committed two of their lanes, two of their farming carries. They can move the Naga to a support, I suppose, but I think she's far less effective in that capacity, and I don't think Denial are going to do that no matter who they pick here.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta agree with you on the OD pick because honestly, I think he's just better than most mids right now. Well, that might be a bit of an overstatement, or I guess just a straight up lie. I to be honest, what I've seen of OD, he looks better than most mids right now, especially if you're playing him, if Ryu's playing him. But Ryu and Smash have been going at it. They're going to go ahead and pick up that Rubik, which is a smart pickup, but at the same time also, I don't know, if you can steal that net, you can steal the Rocket Barrage, excellent. It's a little bit more difficult to steal the cooldown because you go right into that Flatkin, and after that cooldown's done. Jakiro's certainly probably the best pickup, I think, to combine with that Naga Siren. You talked about the supports that provide that magic damage, and boom, there it is, the Jakiro, the THD, if you will. The twin-headed dragon, so more dragons incoming, and I think we've had a Jakiro in almost every game except for maybe the last one, I believe. So,
yeah, this was an easy pick for them, honestly. I mean, I said it before, Jakiro on the back end of a song is a perfect setup because of the way Ice Path works.
Oh!
And wow.
Okay.
So it's not going to be an OD middle.
No,
don't go for
not.
the easy victory. Make it challenging on yourself. Pick up the Zeus. I mean, typical mistakes. They may be struggling this series in the last two games, but they've still got their pride intact.
Yeah.
That is definitely clear with this pick.
You've seen Ryu's Zeus, I think.
I have.
You more than anybody, probably. So
I've seen it a lot.
Go ahead and talk about it.
Some would say too much, but Ryu's Zeus is really strong. Zeus is a hero that a lot of people don't know scales well to late game because of the third ability, which is a static field. He actually does good damage. These are some tankier heroes. Early on, his burst damage is phenomenal. Chen counteracts him pretty effectively. We've actually seen that happen in games before where the Thunder God's Wrath comes out from Zeus, and then Chen's Hand of God comes out, and it's about a 50 damage difference between the two spells, I believe, in favor of Zeus, maybe.
Yeah.
So I love this Chen pick. I think it was really smart from Denial.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zeus may have been picked a little bit early here. You could get him fifth, like guaranteed, 100%, 200%.
They jumped the gun.
I don't know. They showed their hand a little bit early. A little bit early, yeah.
Whatever cliche you want to throw out there for saying you picked something too quickly, you can insert it into this position right now because Zeus was certainly going to be available at the 5th pick spot. They were not going to ban that.
Unless they have an even more surprising 5th pick. Then maybe they didn't.
I don't know. Maybe what's more surprising than Zeus at this point? Give me some.
I don't know.
Some thoughts.
I'm not entirely sure they're not taking this tri-lane aggressive, which opens up a lot of possibilities for a safe laner.
Okay.
So, I want to say they're going to safe lane it to just play it cool and not really ruin any opportunities because Jakiro is a good laning against a tri-lane, of course, with a long range disable. But now that Chen's in the jungle and they want to shut down the gyrocopter for certain, they obviously know that's necessary after the last two games, they might throw in a safe laner here.
Yeah, it has to be, I think. That was definitely a good call on you. So it's going to be solo safe lane anti-mage, probably Zeus mid, Rubik, Lifestealer, Visage, aggressive tri-lane, right?
Yeah, and there's a big lots Treant Protect, not Treant, Nature's Prophet here if they want to pick it up. I don't know how he keeps sneaking through, but he is. And
yeah, he could fit there. But now they go for the Beastmaster. They forego the Big Lots sponsored the Big Lots sponsored Nature's Prophet. So the bang for your buck not happening in this game, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Beastmaster instead.
Yeah, Beastmaster, and Beastmaster's very straightforward. They want to have something to lock down the anti-mage. Roar does that, probably one of the best abilities at doing that in the game, and of course going through BKB is going to work against Lifestealer just as well. So nice pick from them. It's going to be a really difficult lane for him against the solo anti-mage if that is the case, but Beastmaster has to really thrive in difficult lanes.
Absolutely. So, jumping into the game, it is the fifth and final game, ladies and gentlemen, between Typical Mistakes and Denial Esports. And I believe they will be going up to face, the winner of this game, I should say, will be going up to face Evil Geniuses in another best of 5 relatively soon. So, doing the introductions, Ryu's going to be on the Zeus. Cakes will be on that Lifestealer, looking at Merge Glaciers. He'll be on the Visage. Fan of Soyan, aka Goody, will be on the Rubik. And finally, to finish it all off, solo safe lane Sleazel, which we saw in the first game. On the side of Denial, Masoku will be playing that Shen. We're going to see Ewo on the Gyrocopter, the Ewocopter in full effect, Smash on the Naga Siren, Misko on the Jakiro, and Mihawk to round it out on the Beastmaster. I apologize for taking that introduction away from you, but I thought we were going to see some early aggression, so I had to jump on it, and now I feel like a jerk. So,
well, you're dead to me, so.
Ouch. Oof.
Yeah, but it's okay, because Naga Siren, look at this, already picking up the Magic Stick, so knowing he's going to be up against the Ryu mid, this is going to be an interesting lane. Ryu with the short range on Zeus. I mean, Naga has huge range on Riptide, and Riptide does a lot of damage early on. I don't know that Zeus wins this lane. Ryu would know better than me, and since he's picked into it, essentially, I think he's confident that he can do well in the lane, and I surely hope that's the case. But I still see this being a relatively tough challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it will be. I think it definitely will be. So, I mean, even with that Arc Lightning, even with the ability to get last hits effectively, it's still going to be tough. Riptide is just so good, I think, early on in the damage of armor reduction. You talked about it. Top lane, dual lane right now with the Jakiro, with Mihawk up there as well. But this is going to give me, while a solo safe lane to the Gyrocopter and Ewo. I'm not sure if he's not expecting this or what, but there's two heroes right around here, Fan of Soyan as well as, of course, Merge Glaciers, who are meanwhile blocking the creep camps, making sure that Chen can't really get a whole lot done. He'll pick up that Dark Troll Warlord, but he doesn't have a whole bunch of options right now in terms of getting things done with jungling. Smash is going to take some damage here up against Ryu, and roaming through, you can see Merge Glaciers sitting behind these trees and the tower, as well as Fan of Soyan as well, thinking about coming through. And he's going to get spotted. Masoku will back off immediately. They're going to try to kill, of course, this Dark Troll Warlord, and should do a decent, easy job of it, or just back off instead. It looks like they don't want to take too much damage there. So, okay, maybe not. Meanwhile, Cakes is going to be going up against the Gyrocopter right now, and everything's actually kind of going the way of Denial for the time being, but things can change drastically in, you know, the blink of an eye, if you will. So, in that top lane, Sleazel's not going to have the easiest time here up against Mihawk and Misko, but at the same time, he's also going to be getting a bit more experience. The axes are going to go. Sleazel's going to have to blink away. He will take that dual breath in the end, but he's still getting okay CS right now, sitting at 3. Really, I'm waiting to see if they do roam a support, which they are. They're roaming Merge Glaciers up top lane, which is interesting because now it's 2 against 1 instead of 3 against 1 on that Gyrocopter. They weren't really doing a whole lot early on, but we'll have to see if this is at least a little bit easier for Sleazel now that Merge Glaciers is up here. So, especially with the amount of damage with the Axe Spam, with the Dual Breath as well on top of that. We'll see if Sleazel has a better time with that Soul Assumption accompanying him in the top lane.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this very much. I really wish it was the other way around, and TM had applied more pressure to this bottom lane and forced Denial to rotate a support down here. Because then you get a much favorable lane matchup, Anti-Mage versus Beastmaster. There's not much Beastmaster can do in that lane. He just has to try and find a CS. EO was in a little bit of trouble here. He gets cornered off.
Yeah, Ewo. Telekinesis is going to fly. Cakes, he's got that open wounds. Ewo, he's going to throw up. He's got no rocket barrage, by the way. He's got that homing missile. Rage is going to fly. Here comes the Hellbear, and they can't catch him, so Ewo will get away scot-free somehow, despite a telekinesis and rage being used, and almost all of his damage, health, flying down. So Masoku's here with that Hellbear, looking for an Ursa Warrior slap, and he might just get it if he's lucky. He's looking for it. There it goes. Nope, canceled. So that actually would have been a decent amount of damage. Surprised that he canceled it. They did take some damage there as he's going to back off, but in the meantime now, Sleazel is at least getting more farm here. He's up to 11 last hits, which is good, and the applied pressure on Ewo is going to, of course, cost him a few CS on top of that. Meanwhile, in that mid lane, it's about even in terms of CS. Zeus is getting some decent farm, and so is the Naga Siren, so everything's pretty gravy for both sides here, and it's still early on to really decide what's going to happen. Ewo, of course, taking more damage, and he's getting some decent CS, but now Cakes is getting, of course, effective CS as well on top of that, so right now, early on, I think it's pretty much a wash so far, but that can change dramatically.
Yeah, I just want to know one thing. This is really cheeky from Denial. I like this a lot. Since they rotated the support up top, and that makes it a break-even lane, they decide to rotate their support down bottom. They want to win a lane, and now Ewo's getting jumped on again.
Yeah, and if he goes down, that's certainly not going to help them in that cause, and he's really close to dying here. The Fade Bolt, one more right click, and it is going to be First Blood for Cakes, and that is the most important First Blood you're going to have. The Test of Faith is going to come out. The right click, not enough. He's so low. He will fall down, though, and Chen is going to pick up the revenge kill in the end, but still First Blood for, of course, that Lifestealer, exactly what they needed. But can they get two? Can they get Fan of Soin? The Ice Path. Fan of Soin trying to juke. Not going to happen. Nice Ice Path. The Hellbear Smash. Dual Breath as well. The Telekinesis. Nice stun. They can't chase any further, I don't think. The Hellbear Smash again, but not going to work. So Fan of Soin will survive. Cakes is coming back in, and he really can't chase this. I mean, they're at full health, and they have some mana left, so nice try from Denial to try to get those 2 kills rather than just the one in the trade. But in the end, it is a trade. First Blood will go for Cakes, but that might be the last aggression you're going to see coming out from Typical Mistakes in this lane, because it is a defensive tri lane for all intents and purposes now, but this is going to be Sleazel getting farm up here now.
Yeah. So we've come full circle to what it probably should have been initially, or what Typical Mistakes wanted to be initially with the Anti-Mage solo, but it's really afforded Beastmaster enough time to pick up level 4 and is pushing towards his tower. This could be his level 5. Probably next wave he gets level 5. And if he gets level 6 without dying up here, then he's going to be pretty satisfied with that, especially with some added bonus in the form of 11 CS to give him some extra items like boots early on. So I think the Beastmaster is pretty comfortable there. Ewo on the Gyrocopter, his CS is lacking because bottom lane has been a little bit crazy. So you have to give credit to Typical Mistakes. They're winning the CS battle somehow across the board. Middle's a wash, but bottom and top, they're getting more CS out of their carries. So despite this being pretty weird, they're persevering and doing a good job so far.
Yeah, and we've seen the same story twice, by the way, with Sleazel and Mihawk in a lane together solo, especially with the Sleazel as that anti-mage. Sleazel, of course, going up against Mihawk, who was that Nature's Prophet the first time around. He ended up going down a little early to the Mana Void, of course, and now here we see a dive. There's the Telekinesis on Ewo. He's got no help, but that was it.
Smoke middle, too.
Casual Telekinesis. And yeah, smoke middle, so Zeus has to be very careful. Smash, looking for an entangle, an ensnare, if you will. Test of Faith doing so much damage. Ryu in some trouble. There's the Ice Path as well. He's going to go down. Chen picking up that kill. Easy as pie. There's going to be a rotation coming through, and oh, that ensnare. Fan of Soyan might have made a little bit of a mistake there. Yeah, he's going to go down as well with a well-timed Ice Path. Misko grabbing another one, and just like that, they grab 2 heroes. Fan of Soyan with maybe not the best rotation in the world.
No, and it looks like this is just trying to hunt here, but not going to find Chen. That would have been really lucky if he caught him out there. There's an ultimate from Zeus that clears off the Chen, though. So they didn't need to find him there. Zeus gets a nice Thunder God's Wrath, and that's pretty important for him to pick up at least a little bit of gold in response. I said this mid lane's tough. There's an Ice Path that just barely misses.
Oh,
Naga's really low.
Smash you. Oh, God. Okay, they barely survived. All right. Sorry.
It's okay.
I got excited.
I was nervous for a second there. But, I mean, 3-2. It's not that big of a kill lead. I mentioned a moment ago that Typical Mistakes are still leading in CS, and Ewo on the bottom is going to get attacked.
Yep. Open wounds. Telekinesis might be coming in just a moment. There it goes. Can they get enough damage here? The Infest coming out from Cakes this time. We saw it last game from Mihawk, and this time Cakes does it to the opposing team, and with great effectiveness. So now, Ewo trying to get farm, not happening. Sleazel in the top lane, 44 CS, he's got room to farm. 7 minutes in the game, he's got his Ring of Health, so he's doing okay. Mihawk very close to 6. Sleazel, he's at 7. So that Roar is going to be coming soon if he wants, but he's got no mana because, of course, well, all of his mana's been burned. Bottom tower is going to have a siege creep going, and Cakes is going to continue to farm, but Ewo having a little bit of a tough time, only getting 21 CS right now. Ryu in the mid lane going down, Naga Siren sitting at 36, tied with, of course, the Lifestealer who's had a good time. So if we look at the graphs, it's about 8 minutes, which is generally when I like to look at the graphs. It's about 1,000 experience lead, 4 Typical Mistakes, and 1,500 gold. So everything going well. They've messed up a gank or two, essentially, or I guess a rotation coming out from Fan of Soyan, but pretty much it's been going their way.
Sleazel's in trouble top.
And Sleazel is going to get chased around. The Roar is going to be coming. Sleazel's going to take a lot of that damage. Of course, the Rocket Barrage as well. Nice Ice Path and the Homing Missile. The combo, the chain stuns, everything necessary to take him down. And, of course, he will fall. So Sleazel going down, giving, of course, that gold split up between those heroes. So nicely done. They really needed that gank, and then they apply pressure with great ease and grab that kill. So
yeah,
Musoku,
and Chen just picked up 2 trolls, so he is doing a
He's
great
happy.
job in the jungle right now.
Yeah, and
But Cakes is troll hunting, not going to actually find any.
so he's trolling, if you will.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, that was bad. I'm sorry. Never again.
Thanks, everyone that tuned in prior to that. Have a good night. No. Bottom lane, Evo continues to try and find some farm, but they need to leave a support down here. I know they want to roam these supports, and they've done a good job so far, but it's at the cost of their gyrocopter having stable income. And I don't know. He could definitely farm quicker than a lot of other heroes, but the stacks aren't quite there yet. So I really think they should invest one hero's time in babysitting this gyro.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryu's actually starting to deal a decent amount of damage with that lightning bolt, and he's pretty effective with getting last hits with just 1 point in that arc lightning. You can see it there. He's got that Thunder God's Wrath as well on top of that. You mentioned Iwo needing some babysitting. You're absolutely right. They do have that Chikiro down there now who's very close to level 6. If we check out the level chart right now, Visage is actually the most underleveled hero in the game, only by 1 level, however, but that is a pretty significant level here, which is, I mean, he's still pretty far behind in experience. I mean, he's not even close to 5 yet. The big thing is that you see 3 heroes at level 8 right now, whereas there's only 1 for the side of Denial. So there is that experience lead despite the supports not getting it. At least a piece of the pie anyway. And they're
try
going
and
to
get
get
Sleesel
Mage.
again.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're going to go for the Anti-Mage once more. We'll see if they want to try to bait it. I mean, I'm not sure if Sleesel has his game senses tingling right now, but they should be. He'll blink away. And so, yeah, so Sleesel, much like Spider-Man, Thunder God's Wrath, going to give some vision, so they know exactly where Ewo is, they know exactly what's happening, and that is exactly what they needed to do. There's going to be a call down, they'll all get out, Cakes can rage if necessary, will do so, and Visage will, of course, pick up that kill. So, nicely done, the Thunder God's Wrath to really get, of course, all of that vision, and confirming their suspicions about what's happening in that top lane. And they're going to go ahead and take this tier 1 tower. There's no fortification just yet. If they want to use it, they absolutely can. And they're not going to, though. So a free tower going with that Chen push. The 2 Dark Tour Warlords you mentioned, of course, with those Skeleton Warriors taking up a lot of the creep waves and everything like that and doing more damage. So good gank for Typical Mistakes, making sure Ewo gets that MKB a significant amount later than in the prior games. But they will lose that top tower because of it.
Yeah, this is panning out to be a much more even game. You can see Lifestealer has a whole lot of farm. He has drums and phase already, but top lane looks like where it's about to get a little bit chaotic because the roar's up on Beastmaster. Ryu's running in hasted, but he has to be careful. If he eats a roar, it doesn't matter if he's hasted. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, this is going to be an opportunity for Naga to push out a little bit since he can now see that Chen's in trouble. Soku is going to net
Ryu.
once.
Ryu, nice net. He has that haste
Twice.
skill just for a couple of seconds here, and now, yeah, the net's
Trolls.
trolled hard. Ryu cannot get anywhere. He'll have to TP mid. There is going to be that fortification. The Fade Bolt's going to fly. Can they get anything going? Smash has the Song of the Siren in case they run into any trouble, but it looks like they're just going to back normally there. So, we're not hearing any boos yet. Just yet, anyway.
Nope. No, and I think we're going to hear more excitement than booze when that song finally comes out eventually because their setup off the back end of the song is crazy good. Typical Mistakes, they need to be very cautious with their positioning. They can't get caught on top of each other. That call down, despite the fact that there's no farm on Gyrocopter, is going to deal a ton of damage, especially when it's stacked on top of the Ice Path, keeping everyone in place for probably both strikes of it. But that being said, the farm is coming out, and they really, Typical Mistakes that is, are looking solid based on where Cakes is right now in this lifesteal. They can use him to buy time and space for Sleesel on the Anti-Mage, who is about halfway to his Battle Fury, but it's important that they can play off of him instead of having to kind of rally to him for a large period of time, and that seems to be the case right now.
Yeah, and they're very comfortable with Sizzle just going off on his own. And he's died once, yes, but that was to a significantly well-set-up gank coming out from 3 heroes with great chaining abilities. So Sleazel right now is comfortable exactly where he needs to be, farming away, trying to get that, 15-minute battle fury at this point. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Thunder God's Wrath, the Roar going on to the Visage. Calldown's going to go as well. Hand of God, stolen. The calldown going to hit on Evo. Oh, big snipe from Goody. But the Ensnare's going to come right now. 1-for-1 trade. Gyro's going to buy back. Here comes Cakes looking for Smash. He's got to get out of there. He's got no support right now. Ryu's also leaving. So, forcing the buyback on Ewo, but Cakes is going to rage away. Oh, this song's going to catch Ryu right now. Cakes, he's going to lose that rage. Now he's going to be taking some damage. The TP rotation coming in from the Visage as well. Ryu taking a lot of damage. He will get that lightning bolt off. Double kill for Ryu in the end. Or, excuse me, Smash. But now, Chen also grabbing a tower middle. A big fight for Denial and a big win on top of that. However, Sleazel still farming away. He has to back off as there's a TP coming in from Mihawk. So he already used his roar, so not that big of a deal. But a big fight for Denial, like I said. And man, that's going to be helpful.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing for them. I mean, that tower middle is probably the super added bonus at the end of it. Gyrocopter did die and buyback, which is the huge negative for Denial because he's so far behind. He's only sitting on phase at 13 minutes. About now is when he had his demon edge in a couple of the other games, but he's definitely not there yet. Doesn't even have his Helm of the Dominator up. So getting that fight at least helps the rest of his team pick up some more farm. They are able to take down that tower in the middle, so they have more space and control over the rest of the map. Naga Siren has her Yasha up, working towards the Diffusal now, which apparently is becoming more and more status quo build on Naga Siren. I'm not sure. I really thought the drums was a good approach for her, but apparently this has happened with snaking the other day too, and I was a little bit baffled by it, but this is what they're doing nowadays. This is what the kids are up to nowadays.
This is what the kids are doing.
Old Man Fear would not approve.
Yeah, he certainly wouldn't. Old Man Fear.
Those kids.
The fun stops with Old Man Fear as he runs away with his Faceless Void and Anti-Mage. But enough with Fear. We'll see him later, sometime this week. So, looking at the net worth right now, Sleazel, of course, 6,000. He's got that Perseverance, just needs that Broadsword, which he's very close to getting. So, looking at a pretty decent time for this Battle Fury. Looks like about 16 minutes or 15:30, depending on how he can get these next few camps and what he can do. So, not quite as early as his previous Battle Fury, which was about 13 odd minutes, I'd say, in the first game. Still not a bad time by any stretch of the imagination. It's like going back to that Faceless Void, Nyx Midas war in the second game, where it was like 4 minutes for the Lifestealer, 5 minutes for the Faceless Void, and all of a sudden you have to shun the Faceless Void because he's got it a minute later than that Lifestealer does. But it's still a decent timing. There it goes, 15:20, so he's off by 10 seconds roughly. So, things happen. I'm not correct all the time.
It's good. It's really good. I think TM are, despite being down in terms of kills, they're in the driver's seat right now. And bottom lane, they're looking to apply pressure on whomever. And we're going to see the damage from Zeus is huge. He's level 10 now.
Oh, there's the Thunder God's Wrath. They want complete vision. The open wounds. There's the Hand of God. Song of the Siren. Oh no, the call down. Not at the right time. The Macro Power and the Ice Path. It will be enough, however. A lot of damage is going. 1-for-1 trade so far. The Axes. Ryu trying to get out of here. He's going to go down. 2-for-1 trade. Cakes. He's on his way out of here. Meanwhile, top lane's getting pressured. Anti-Mage is going to clean this up. Nowhere near that fight was Merz Glacius, by the way. So, another 2-for-1 trade, and they want to dive like this, but the TP aggression is just too much. Meanwhile, Sleazel's taking a lot of damage. Those trolls were going to town on him. He did eventually get out of there just fine, but still, that was close.
Yeah, and that you got to chalk that down to communication. You can't have one player using a song and the other player using his ultimate. I know he was afraid of dying, but if Smash says I'm songing in, then you have to hold that because you're going to live. The song saved him, obviously. There was no damage that's going to go through the song. Yeah, if they had communicated a little bit better, maybe they have another kill on top of Cakes in the middle of that fight. Would have been a little bit better, but still was a good response from Denial, nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
So chalk it up to them with good team play in general, but that's something they can work on and next time execute even better.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's a small mistake when you think about it because they did get up the Ice Path and the Macro Power, which did significant damage to the squishier heroes there, Ryu and Misko, or Fan of Soyan, included. So there's, that one mistake, but at the same time, not a huge deal. 9-6 the score, looking to maybe initiate. Here's Fan of Soyan coming around the trees. He's going to steal a spell. It's going to have to be Flat Cannon, obviously, there, which is okay, but not the best spell. Meanwhile, Smash getting initiated. There's the Thunder God's Wrath. Smash has no use of that Song of the Siren. There's the drums. There's going to be the call down as well. Cakes has no rage, by the way. Spell was stolen, it looks like, maybe, perhaps. I'm not sure. There's the Infest trying to get out. The Infest doing some damage as well. Open wounds. Roar going on Cakes. He is, of course, raged up, but it doesn't matter. He's taking a lot of right-click damage. Double troll and snare. Oh, he's getting trolled again, and Mihawk grabs the kill. They will pick up the tower kill, but again, a 2-for-1 trade, but it might be 3-for-1 as he got that Ice Path going. Now Fan of Soyan with the stick charge is not enough. The Urine charge is going to go as well. He's going to fall, and Misko is going to pick up the kill. Denial, they're trying to go back down from 2-0 to 3-2. They're on their way there, and now they're chasing after the Visage. He's going to fall as well. Ewo picking up that kill, and typical mistakes They lose 4 heroes, everybody except for Sleazel. He's got his Battle Fury, but he cannot fight yet. He has no Yasha, and this is just poor play coming out from Typical Mistakes, diving too far, getting too greedy, and Denial with the response is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, you said it best. It's just poor play. This is not how you want to play off of your carry. When you play off your carry, you want to create chaos, but controlled chaos where you're not trading or giving up odd number of kills and encounters. You just kind of want to apply pressure and back up, keep heroes down in the bottom lane because that gives Sleazel so much space to operate with, and it makes him super comfortable in that top lane. But when you're giving kills to a team that is fairly underfarmed where they need to be farmed, that is exactly what you can't do, because Anti-Mage, while he can farm well, you still need secondary and even probably a third damage source to fall back on, and you're kind of hurting yourself in that department by doing so. Anti-Mage does have his Yasha up. He's working towards his Manta. He's going to have it probably 23 minutes, maybe. And that's going to be a really good timing for him. But, ooh, we see a huge item come out on Beastmaster. It's the Aghanim.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Nisco, he just ran right into his smoke. He is dead. Well, he should be anyway. Oh, there he goes. All right. One last hit from Cakes. He got a little overconfident with that magic stick charge going. The Beastmaster is going to walk right by Ryu. Looking for a long-range roar. He actually has an Aghanim Scepter. Holy crap, at 20 minutes into the game. That is a rushed Aghanim Scepter, ladies and gentlemen. And Smash now roaming down, and there's 4 heroes here for the side of Typical Mistakes, but they cannot make the same mistake they've made twice already in diving into that bottom jungle and that bottom lane without Sleazel there. There's still a lot of damage, even without the Jakiro. I mean, and they're doing the smart thing and they're backing off. They realize they've seen this movie before, you know?
Yeah. That's exactly what they need to do. It's the right call, and they're still ahead. I think, honestly. I mean, the graphs show us it's pretty much dead even in this game. But I'd give the slight edge right now to Typical Mistakes because they do fall back on that Anti-Mage, who has the highest net worth by a wide margin in the game. The thing is, Denial's team fight is good, and team fight is what can overcome gold differential in a lot of situations. So until Anti-Mage has the BKB up, probably there's an opportunity for Denial to mitigate that. Ryu gets hit by a long range
Ryu,
roar.
that is a roar. He's going to take axes as well, and the ensnares keep coming. He can't move. You can't leave. The ensnares coming fast and furious, and they pick up another kill in the Rubik. So that's 2 down. That's going to be a tier 1 tower. 3 Dark Troll Warlords, and they just throw up some skeletons and say, yeah. They're just having so much fun with that, that raise that animation. Just them raising their sticks in the air. Just like, we won. We did it, guys.
I've played like stretches of games where I haven't seen 3 separate Dark Troll Warlords, so I don't know how Masuko's doing at this game because they are absolutely perfect against a Lifestealer and an Anti-Mage. These are 2 heroes that right now just can't deal with it, and it's showing itself in the middle of some of these fights.
Yeah.
It's just amazing luck for him, really.
Yep, absolutely. Sleazel misses another blink trying to get to that high ground, runs into the wall instead. Sleazel's not had the best luck with that blink, but he's... Oh, there's a ward there. You can't farm that anymore. And... God, those trolls. Those trolls,
Thinking
man.
about going into a Roche, this would be really interesting because Gyrocopter is far, far away. Doesn't even have a TP. Makes me want to believe he TP'd up top. Cakes is starting it, actually. Sonalist Siren is available. Vision is showing that there's a lot of people around the Roche pit. Hawk actually shows them in Roche. Where's the response for Denial? This is going to be awkward.
Yeah, this is once again another awkward scenario, quite like the situation which you described earlier. Cakes is dying. He is dying.
Oh,
Cakes is about to
Roche
die.
is hunting him.
Oh, okay, he armlet toggled. He's okay, and they're gonna take that for free with Sleazel getting the Aegis. So, I mean, and that's what happens, I guess, when you rotate your Gyrocopter and you're not able to get him down there quickly enough. You give up a free Roche when they had pretty much map control. I mean, there was nothing really that was stopping them from entering and contesting that except for, the side of Ewo being on top. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very smart decision from Typical Mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ewo won up top, didn't have a TP, and they're able to just get a Roche. It's pretty much what we saw Denial do in the last game, and someone do in the game before that as well. I think it was actually Denial in both games, but he was getting chased here. They're trying to find him with the telekinesis.
Yeah, but he popped his drum, and he is speedy. He is not going to go down.
And here comes Teamfight Central middle. Can they capitalize? This is really important for Denial right now. If they don't win teamfights, then Anti-Mage is going to get out of hand, and this game is going to really fall away from them.
All right. This army's getting out of hand. I'm just gonna throw that out there. This army is getting ridiculous. Sleazel's gonna do his best to split pushing impression and go ahead and blink further, but he's going up against Smash. There's the, of course, oh, Song of the Siren. They know he's in there. He did already use his TP actually, so this is, oh, there's the call down. Oh, the Ice Path. Sleazel is in some trouble. He has the Aegis. The blink is not going... Oh, it does disjoint that. He's actually going to go to the other well, but no, he's going to go down first. This is going to be a ridiculous chase. Are you serious right now? Where's the ensnare? Nope, the Ice Pass Birth, the roar. Sleazel, oh no, Sleazel, no.
Yeah.
68 seconds, by the way. So...
Yeah, that is exactly how you do not want to use an Aegis. If you were curious, that is the couple of steps I would take. Denial, great response there, great movement back to that tier 2 tower. Sleazel thought he was safe, but they used the song, they used the roar, and of course they have Aghanims on the roar, so the roar is like the least big expenditure they can throw out there. That's like, they'll use it whenever they have the opportunity, but the song was a costly but worthwhile use in that fight, and now we get to see them play really comfortable across the map. This is an opportunity for Ewo to farm even more. He now has the BKB up. It took 24 minutes, which is pretty awful timing, but he can work towards that next item. And, you know, this is the kind of game where you're behind in net worth by 5,000. I'm not going to say Divine Rapier, but whoops, I just said it.
I'm not going to say what item I think they should get next, but here it is. And you know, you're right. I think that his farm was tough. You got to give him a break. He was in a difficult tri lane up against him, and he had a rough time. I think a lot of the time when you got Ewo farming there, you need to give him support like you talked about, and he didn't really get anything. So it's tough. He's in a tough position, but he's got some time to be able to kind of, you know, get some more farm. But at the same time, the more time you spend getting the gyro farm, the more time you spend letting the anti-mage free farm, who's at level 18, by the way, everyone by 3 levels, and out net worthing, I guess, everybody by 3,000. So there's that. Now the match style is done for the, of course, Smash O, with the Diffusal Blade also already done. So he's getting there, aka Princess Amidala, with that ridiculous set. And they're going to head down mid and look for a potential engagement here.
That set looks awesome.
Are you sure we're looking at the same set?
Yeah, it's a 2-to-1 vote.
All right, Roar Ryu is dead. That is a tier 3 push that is coming out right now. I don't know if they can fight this. This might be a tier 3 Fan of Soyan taking even more damage. Telekinesis on the illusion, not going to help. There is going to be the Pipe of Insight, by the way. Fortification's going to fly. Sleazel's getting ready to go, as well as Cakes, but I don't know what they can do here, especially without buyback. And this is big. If Denial can take this tier 3 and the racks, they're in a good position here. And good is a relative term. I mean, fantastic if they can get this song in. They want to set this up. They've got the Dark Troll Warlords. They've got the call down. The Ice Path in the line. The Macro Pyre as well. Gonna be some damage. We're gonna see a huge amount of damage. Sleazel barely surviving. But with that Urn Charge, will he get out of there? No, not sure. Double kill. Cakes is gonna buy back right now. There's gonna be the melee racks taking a ton of damage. Can they stop this? Typical mistakes. What happened? You were up to nothing. It's 3. There's gonna be 3-2 in just a moment if they can take another set of racks. It's not done yet. Sleazel's still farming away. He's still able to fight. He's got a Mantis Tile. He wants to chase. No, they have to push this back. But already a set of racks gone, and Denial with a huge victory for them.
Yeah, and let's go back to where Animage lost that Aegis by himself. That really is what opened up the possibility of this push. Anti-Mage also just made it into, well, 9 health and an Urn Charge on him. That was dangerously close to him dropping again, but now he's getting close to the BKB. This game is nowhere near over, and we see a Rax down. I mean, there's no way Typical Mistakes are out of this game yet. They still have so much farm on the right hero.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. A little ahead of myself.
Cool.
But, you know, Denial is in a good position.
They're definitely in a powerful position.
Yeah.
Anytime you get a Rax down and you're upper Rax, then yeah, that was just an amazing sequence for them. I mean, the stars aligned, and literally the stars of Typical Mistakes aligned, and they set up a perfect initiation from Jakiro, and it was an amazing dive. Usually we see dives that are, you know, they're okay, they're not that great, but that was the right call from Denial. This is what Naga does for your team. This is why we saw him banned out so many times in this game. He just gives you such strong team fights and team play that it's hard to cope with. And we talked about this Chen counteracting a lot of what Zeus does in these fights. Chen was picked right after the Zeus, and he has a pipe and a mech and a Hand of God.
Yep, absolutely. So here comes the next push. And if they can get another set of racks, not only will they be in a good position, but there's going to be the Thunder God's Wrath, excuse me. I don't know if that was piped up in time, but the mech is going to alleviate pretty much all of that damage. They're waiting the song in. You can see it. Sleazel's waiting in the wings right now. You can see Ryu also. There's the song. It's going in right now. They're looking. Oh, this is a beautiful line right here. This is. They're going to go instead on Fan of Soyan as well as Cakes right now. Meanwhile, Fan of Soyan gets obliterated. Cakes, of course, getting ensnared. Sleazel, he's going to be next. Sleazel falls down. Sleazel is down. Does he have buyback is the question. Let's check it out right now. Meanwhile, of course, they're looking for Raxus here. Double kill for Smash. Cakes, Ice Path just barely missing, but the Purge, it's a team wipe. Denial, they wipe the team, of course, from typical mistakes. A GG is called. They come back from 2-0 down. Denial does it again. They win 3-2, and they move on to face against Evil Geniuses. Unbelievable.
So 1.5 minutes ago when I said this game was nowhere near over, I meant it was close to over. That was just a perfect team for typical mistakes again. I don't understand Denial with these initiations. There's nothing TM could have done. They just got destroyed. And that roar, pinning down Sleazel in the middle of the fights, he just can't live long enough. An amazing play from Denial, amazing picks from Denial. It's like a reverse ace, winning 3 in a row against Typical Mistakes when they are on the verge of victory for so long. And you really feel bad for Typical Mistakes. They played so well initially in the series, and it just got too far away from them. You can't give an opportunity to this team, Denial Esports. They will tear you apart with every chance they get.
We talked about it in game number 3. Pick what you feel comfortable with. Take the game. Don't give them any glimmer of hope. Not only did they give them the glimmer of hope, they gave them the hero that they love to play the most. And I'm not saying that Gyrocopter was the only reason that Denial was able to come back into this, but he was certainly one of the reasons that this comeback started in the first place. And I've got to say, such great team fight. And you mentioned the Song of the Siren and how good it is for setting it up. And I've got to say, yeah, it's absolutely outstanding. So all props to Denial. Typical Mistakes, they played their best. 2 victories back-to-back, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. And, they have to, go back to the drawing board. And we thought that with this roster change, everything was going to go their way. And Anti-Image was 0-3-0. Despite having excellent GPM and excellent farm, he wasn't able to get anything done because he kept getting songed, he kept getting Ice Path, they locked him down, they killed him. And that's how it went. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for us tonight. Join us tomorrow. I believe we have, of course, Smeagol versus Team Dignitas in another best of 5 series. That'll be great to watch. I'm not sure what that time starts at. I will check and post it in chat for you in just a moment. Once again, check out AmericanDotaLeague.com, Twitter.com/AmericanDota, and Twitch.tv/AmericanDotaLeague for all of your American Dota League for all of your American Dota information. If you enjoyed the casting, my name is Mont. You can follow me at Twitter.com/Mont22. With me tonight is NYJohn. You can follow him at Twitter.com/NYJohnTV. And John, any final thoughts or shoutouts before we head out of here?
I mean, I think Denial are like the wild card in these playoffs. Really, this team is looking so solid as of late. Typical Mistakes were so close to putting a lot of the top 3 teams, I mean the big 3 from NA, at ease, because I don't think many teams want to go up against this wild card slot quite yet. And EG, even though they look so good in the regular season, they have to be a little bit concerned. The best of 5 definitely changed things. What an amazing way to start out the playoffs. Thank you for having me. And shout out to the ADL for being an awesome tournament. And we'll see you guys next time.
I got to agree with you. An excellent way to start everything off, guys. We're going to head out of here. Have an excellent night, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow.